When you hear the two words summer reading, it might make you break out into hives and go into super flashback trauma mode. I know that summer reading has gotten out of control in terms of what we value and who's in charge and who's doing it, who's it for. There are a lot of questions about whether or not it's actually effective or even worth trying to rescue. I do believe that there is a way to rescue summer reading, and not just because we should. I know that with the summer slide and all of the work that we do to grow our students throughout the school year, the heartbreak that comes with knowing how much is lost, especially from our low economic students. We had got to come up with some creative solutions to make summer reading happen again, but happen in a way that is truly positive, authentic, fun, and engaging. I've got a webinar for you that I'd love to share. I also dropped 2 episodes about summer reading that you can listen to on the podcast. Head to bravenewteaching.com/summer reading to get all your freebie goodies, watch the webinar, and give summer reading another shot. This is one that you're going to want to watch with your teacher bestie or maybe even your team. If you're ready to take the next step, give me a call, give me a jingle. Let's plan it together, or just send me a message on Instagram. Head to bravenewteaching.com/summer reading to get that kickstart you need to make summer reading fun and awesome. One more time.
Hold on, water.
You got this.
Me. Okay. What if I did full-blown vocal warm-ups every time? I was like, ha, 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 ha.
No.
That
would make me very happy.
Well, hello, and welcome back to Brave New Teaching. Hello, Amanda.
Hi, Marie. How are you holding up?
I am holding up. Full stop. I'm fine. The end of the school year is a lot this year less dodgy for me than years past, and a lot less dodgy than like the whole beginning and middle were. So
you are truly at the light at the end of the tunnel stage of the year.
Yeah. Well, and it's all the fun stuff right now. Like last year I had a 5th grader that was promoting, so we just had a lot of things going on around that. I was like, a lot of our people on my campus were very much in transition between positions, and many of those positions I had filled or heavily helped out with at various points in my now rounding out the 18th year at the school. So like, I just kept finding myself getting pulled places. And then, I got the really helpful advice from a lot of my friends that were like, just learn the word no. And I was like, you don't seem to understand.
Super, guys.
It's not that I don't know how to say no. It's that it quite frankly is just like, I hear myself, it is just easier if I help, because then I don't have to sit back and go, oh my God, I should have helped them. But this year is a heck of a lot smoother.
That's awesome.
In that way.
That's good to hear.
Yes. Because last year I helped. So now I get to be like, remember what I told you how to do? Now we're good to go.
Yeah, you gotta wait. You gotta weigh it.
Yeah.
So that's I get that.
Yeah. How are you? How's the end of the school year going in your realm?
I mean, same, right? Like totally same. Always trying to figure out how much of myself to invest in various projects, people, things, etc. But yeah, no, really, really good. I'm excited to talk about today's episode because it's fresh. We just finished this fundraiser, so I have a lot to share that's like right on the tip of my brain waves. Oh, yeah, you guys are not watching this, but Marie is definitely going to get a bug. It's a Spidey. Yeah, I knew it. She's
Spidey.
tackling, the insects of her. We're starting to get ants here. Tis the season.
It's with its nature friends.
Go back outside.
Yes. Well, okay. So fundraising. Yes. Back to the matter at hand. Fundraising. I feel like while fundraising at the end of the year is kind of something that you're like, why are we talking about this right now? Because it's something that you can start putting into place for the beginning of next year.
Correct.
Or for the summer, right? Going into next school year. This is the perfect time to start talking about funds and fundraising because, well, we're all out now.
There's nothing left.
Yeah. The well is dry. But summer is kind of the best time to start that stuff back up again. And I'm really excited to hear more about the fundraising that you did for your kids' school and district, and then talk about how that could work at different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't bring it here unless I had a pretty clear vision for
Right.
middle and high school for sure, because I would have very happily packaged that back in the PTO box and let it die. But
Yeah, right.
I did not. I did not, because I was like, oh, wow, why did I never do this? I mean, and especially when like Marie and I have been talking to you a lot about this struggle. We've done a couple episodes about it, like specifically the struggle around getting books for your classroom, whether that is funding your classroom library, your library at your school, or it's just getting more books for choice on your list. The number one factor that leads to us not being able to do that is not having money for books. And it's
Right.
criminal because there's a lot of money for lacrosse sticks, but not always enough. No shade to lacrosse. Lacrosse is a wonderful sport. But there's music boosters, there's sports boosters, right? There's even the PTO is very interested in like our PTO funds field trips, which is like,
what does PTO mean? Because I was like, are you saying paid time off? What does that?
No, parent teacher organization. It's
ours is
PTA.
association. That's why I was like, what are you saying?
Whatever. I'm not in charge. I mean, I could be, but I'm not.
I think it's probably best that you're not. You know what? Listen, we need to get into this, but first we do have something we need to do. Are you ready?
I mean, get books?
No. Cue the music.
You're listening to Brave New Teaching, and we are so much more than a podcast.
We give teachers the inspiration, support, and tools to challenge the status quo.
I'm Amanda, and I'm a former English teacher from Illinois.
And I'm Marie, and I'm a high school teacher from Southern California.
Join us after the show and happy hour to extend your VNT experience with instant access to our resources, workshops, and courses.
Visit shop.bravenewteaching.com/happy hour to join us today. We're so glad you're here. Enjoy the show. All right. So, Amanda, give us a rundown of what it is that we're talking about. Like, give me your elevator pitch for a read-a-thon.
Okay.
Go.
Actually, there's two fundraisers I'll talk about. The big one is the Read-a-Thon. The second one I can say that's worth considering is having a book fair.
Freaking love book fairs.
Freaking book fairs are amazing. And
freaking love it. It's freaking bats. You know that one.
They've come a long way.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know why we never even explored it once when I was in the classroom. Like over a decade, we never once explored having a book fair at the high school. Book fairs are prepared with middle and high school and adult level books. There were the book fair that we had in the fall. We had a whole adult section that like all the teachers and all the parents were hovering around like, got to get mine too. Like book fairs are not just for the littles. So I would definitely not write that off. I don't have a lot of experience on like the back end of like organizing it, but I know that like Barnes and Noble works with schools to do book fairs, like book fair nights. Like you can have a night at Barnes and Noble that is dedicated to like, there's a proceeds, whatever, go back to your school. We did ours through actually a local independent bookstore called ABC. I think they're Anderson's book company. I know Scholastic ends theirs at middle school, but Scholastic is not the only company that does book fairs. So major pitch for book fair. There's no work to be done other than to advertise it.
Yeah.
Get people there.
Well, organize. Yeah. So I have done, before we get into the elevator pitch that I was asking you for, because I just realized I'm going to...
Didn't want to forget about this one.
I have done in years past, like a Barnes & Noble book fair where they did it with my local bookstore through like our ELA department at my high school. And I think it was like a 3-day event. It was great. It was like fantastic. What I want to see though is the event come to the school for back to school night.
Yeah.
I want to see registration before school starts when everybody's coming on campus. Like I want to see it then.
Yes.
Because in my opinion, and now in my just lots of years of experience of running events, school events, community events, the best types of events are those that give you a reason to care, that give you a reason to be there. And building community through an in-person event is invaluable. And yeah, those online, like email people, have them send things in types of fundraisers, sure, they are fruitful. For me, the biggest bang for my buck, and my buck in this at this point is like time and energy, is letting people also see what it's going to and feel a part of the community that their own dollars are benefiting. That's why I think that those types of events are so amazing. And that's why something like a read-a-thon that's interactive, like I know that you're going to be talking about, kind of blends those two worlds of a big event and a, hey, look at what I'm going to do, like jog-a-thon style thing. So I am excited for you to talk about that. It's the coming together.
The community.
It's community. Yes.
Well, and it's community around books. And like this is where I kept
Yeah.
coming back to like this readathon and the book fair, at least at my kids' school, existed long before we were here. But like the reason I've been so involved is I think that having a fundraiser centered around like this message that literacy matters here and like this is a priority for us,
Yeah.
that in and of itself is valuable in terms of like setting right the tone for the school year, setting the tone for, especially for if people are coming into your building.
Yeah.
Reading matters here, and that's crucial. So I love that you said beginning of the year. I also think that would be powerful, especially for the middle and high school. Like, here's
Yeah.
our reading list for the year. Come get your books on the reading list and then some. I think end of the year is also like, if it's depending on who you
Sure.
use, is kind of fun, is at least for a book fair, and then we'll move on. But a book fair would be great to do the end of the year to buy books for summer.
Yeah. Yes.
Get your list. Okay. So book fair, check. I mean, really, well, I will add to the show notes any links that I have from what we've done that with the place that we worked with. I do think that they are local, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're more, they distribute more than I know. But I'll add that and then everything else that I have from that. But the most recent fundraiser that we did was a readathon, and it was wildly successful. So our goal was to raise $5,000. We raised $10,000.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. And I think we did a pretty crappy job, honestly.
Well, now that you see it, you're like, oh, the potential is
Well, yes.
insane. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna rake anybody over the coals. I'm gonna keep this a very above board conversation because you never know who listens to Brave New Teaching.
Well, but here's the other thing that I want to make a note of here. When we're talking about it from a high school perspective, I am talking about it from as a teacher. Like I'm right now very much thinking that as an English teacher, my department would do this, or as a drama teacher, the program would sponsor this and therefore take the proceeds. You're talking about it from a parent's perspective of being a volunteer that coordinates it. So like everybody listening, take into account the context of where this would be coming from. Maybe you've got an insane PTSA that would take this on at your school. Like I have an amazing PTSA at our school that like I've already written down to text my friend who is in charge of it. Be like, hey, I have an idea for us for the end of the year for my school. But for like my kids' school, that would come from somebody else. Anyways, I digress.
That is 100% the goal of this episode, is to listen and think about who you're going to send this to.
Exactly.
I am not saying any, and no one teacher should do this. No one parent should do this. But to your point, a department, brilliant.
Yeah.
I think that was my biggest struggle, is that I did this almost entirely alone for 3 elementary schools and 1 middle school. So that was a bit rough.
Which is part of where you can feel that the potential could have been so much greater had you, now knowing what you know, you can divvy it up. Yes. But you had to live it. You had to do it once.
You got to live it. So, okay. So I did, for anyone wondering, I did create a resource that is everything that I did, and I have it all organized. I mean, it's beautiful. Every single thing that I did. And so I broke, for purposes of making this easy to listen to, there are really 4 steps in the process. 1 is the prep, right? 2 is the organization.
Yeah.
The 3rd would be implementation. And then the 4th is like the follow-up, right? All the kind of finalizing pieces that need to happen. So in stage 1, in the prep, for a read-a-thons, but this would probably work for a lot of a-thons, but we're going to talk about read-a-thon today.
A-thons.
The biggest piece in the prep is first selecting the platform you're going to use to track funds and minutes. There are many options on the interwebs that you can go through. We used It's called Get Movin' Fund Hub. They specialize in a-thons of other sorts, including read-a-thons. But as you can hear from the website, it's definitely more of like a dance-a-thons, jog-a-thons, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it was still the software was fine. Everything was great. It did its work. I'm not the president, so I don't know exactly what the breakdown was. I believe there is a yearly subscription fee,
Okay.
and then they took a percentage. So there was an upfront cost that our group was ready and willing to pay because they were successful the year before. And
Sure.
so, I mean, we absorbed it pretty quickly by the end. But if you don't have upfront money, I wouldn't go that direction.
Okay.
There's another one that I researched that I really liked but didn't push for. It's called Rally Up. Rallyup.com. There is
Okay.
no upfront cost as far as I remember, but they do take a percentage on the back. And a lot of these places will do kind of like GoFundMe, like they'll ask the donor to cover some of the administrative fees. So just kind of doing your research about like the platform is a little bit time consuming because you want to make the best choice for your group. It is worth the investment though. I do think that kids having a personal website that they can share out
Yeah.
is going to get you the most money if this is a fundraiser. You could also do a read-a-thon just for tracking minutes and doing prizes, right? Like you could totally just do it like,
Right.
but if you're going to be asking families and students to share out about it and then collect money to help, that's key. The second part that helped us, again, I don't know exactly where I feel this on the high school level, but probably for middle school, is theming it. Having a theme does make it more fun. We did a reading road trip, which was adorable, amazing, and fantastic. It made everything kind of cheeky and delightful. So if you wanted to theme it, that would be awesome. It just makes like the marketing more fun, more pointed. It makes like setting the goals and the prizes a little bit more fun, but it's not that important. So we did a reading road trip. Everything was about like the destination and fueling up and gas tanks and maps and all
That's
that
so
kind of stuff.
cute, though. Yeah. But I feel like everybody deserves a good theme,
I
frankly.
mean,
Like half of what we talk about here is that the big kids that you and I deal
yeah,
with are just like the little ones.
they
They
are.
still love a little whimsy.
Well, they theme homecoming. They theme like
Exactly.
same deal. It could just be a little bit more like weird or a little more
Yeah.
grown up. Like,
Yeah.
so don't dismiss that. I think that would be really fun to brainstorm actually. And then I'd say the final piece of that prep is determining how you're going to award prizes to your readers. And like if you're going to have tiers or if you're going to like there's a couple ways to do it. Like you can do most minutes, most money,
Yeah.
grade level, by class. I actually didn't like doing top prizes. Number one, readathons are incredibly easy to lie, right? You can easily
Well,
lie about the number
yeah.
of minutes. We had
Yeah.
parents lying about their kids. Like,
Which is kind
so
of gross. Yeah.
yeah, the most is not great, but it's not the end of the world either. It kind of just it is what it is. If kids are going to lie, kids are going to lie. We already know that. If parents are going to lie, parents are going to lie. We know that. What was recommended to us, but a little bit too late, was actually doing like prizes that are given out at milestones. So, like, I'm going to give you a really basic example. Like, let's say that your prize for registering is a keychain. And then for every 100 minutes you've logged, every 50 minutes you log, you can earn there's like a series of 10 axolotl keychains. You got to collect them all. Like think Monopoly at McDonald's or
Yeah.
Minecraft
Yeah.
toys at McDonald's. And like every milestone, you can get the next item in the series.
Yeah. That speaks to kids immediately, right? Like
It's
it's the
fun. It's
blind bag
quirky.
collector's pieces of yes.
Yeah, and if you don't, if you don't have money up front, which not everyone has, you can do a punch card, right? Like you can have
That's
them
cute.
right earning punches for the end when you do have funds for prizes,
Yeah.
or it's homework passes, or it's get out of detention, or it's a free
Well,
prom
or it's
ticket.
prom. I was going to say, or it's prom tickets, or it's yeah.
But a punch card system is really simple, and if you're and like one day a week at I don't know, certain class period or like a homeroom or whatever. I don't know. Everyone's reading logs are checked and you get your punches. So, I mean, you
Right.
can really make it simple. We did, and I put in my resource, like I have a prize matrix. It was a beast. But if you're going to do prizes, getting out into if it's end of the year, I wouldn't do this. But if you're going to do it for next year, getting out into the community and like outsourcing other people to help you, Panda Express will give you free coupons for bowls, always for reading, especially.
Yeah,
So some of the local franchise fast
that's
food
true.
places are super good. I know Dairy Queen's really good about that for ice cream.
Yeah.
Kids love free food, even more so at high school. Like the free food thing was
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
getting,
Well, because they can drive
oh my God,
at that
they can
point.
drive. I mean, check with also your local pizza joints. They love taking business away from like Domino's and Papa John's and everything. So,
Right.
and they're willing to give you a free 10-inch cheese pizza because you know you're going to buy more than that when you get your
Well,
food.
yeah, you're not just going, yeah, you're going to get a drink. You're going to get, yeah.
So check with those places and start a relationship. I mean, and keep on keeping on. We had a lot of local businesses that were like more than happy to jump in. So
That's so cool.
that is the prep phase. And we also, as a PTO, as a parent organization, we also made sure to recruit prizes for the teachers. So the teachers who were
Yeah.
encouraging the littles to go home and do all the things. And like with our fundraising platform, teachers could add minutes like they did if they did not like their curricular standard, but if they did like an extra read aloud, they could give everyone in the class 20 minutes, like from
Yeah.
their classroom
Yeah. They
account.
could dole out yeah.
So yeah, so for all that extra stuff that they did, we definitely had prizes. I did a raffle basket for like every time their class earned $50. Like I got another raffle ticket. Like there's all kinds of stuff. So that just takes a lot of like you got to think through all of that before you jump in because you can't like backwards engineer that once you're already in.
Yeah.
So that's the planning phase. The organization phase, I think, is where you're organizing your people. You got your volunteers. So like whoever's involved, give everyone their job. Do not do everything yourself, but definitely kind of group people by task and set them on their way. The only thing I really did was the tech. I monitored the website stuff.
Yeah. Which
That was
was a lot. I mean,
well, yeah, it was forced.
that's why it's too much for one person, but you had to live it. Yeah.
Even that it wasn't too bad, but it was still that was really important. So like organizations also like the communication, right? Emailing home, emailing the parents, making sure everybody who's involved knows what's going on, communicating about what the prizes are, the start date, the end date, the rules. It's not a lot. It's a lot to organize the first time and
Yeah.
then
And
it's
then you can
rinse and
figure it out
repeat.
from there. Yeah.
I mean, it's even like I told my team, and this is a multiple times a year thing. I mean, you could easily do this twice a year, first semester, second semester, no problem. Once it's done, it's done. I have nothing to do for next year.
Rinse
Nothing.
and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
So go get prizes.
Which is, I mean, yeah, that's a great place to be though.
It's a great place to be. So that's the organization phase that it is what it is. It's important because we want to be clear when we tell people what's going on. And then once it's running, it's just running.
Yeah.
People are reading.
Yeah.
So like the only thing in that
it's just keeping everybody informed, right? And like kind of keeping up the marketing and the
updates, right? Like we hit this milestone. This is so exciting. Let's celebrate. Or troubleshooting when Joey's website's not working and and that's fine. Easy. We can deal with that. So like for all of the work that the first two stages are, once it's happening, it's just kind of running. And then the final stage is also not that bad as long as you still have that team of people working with you. I think the priorities in the end is just you finalize with the company, like the checks, get your money, and then planning ways to celebrate and make a big deal about the successes, whether that's the minutes, whether that's the funds, whether that's the number of kids that participated. We made like a quick little YouTube video with our stats, like to celebrate and share and send out to the families.
That's really cute.
It was
really cute. Yeah.
I made certificates as well, and I sent them to the teachers if they wanted to use them. I just gave them like a Canva template that has all these kind of like reading road trip themed things. Like this child had like the most, miles with their distance and or visited the most places with what they read or whatever. So
Mhm.
I gave those teachers if they wanted to use them in their classroom individually. So celebrating, awarding prizes, and then the biggest part of the end is following up with the people who donated, whether that's the donors, like the families and the grandparents and everybody who did it to
Yeah.
the fundraiser, but also those local businesses that gave you free stuff. Like send out an email with links to all of them, or like sending home a flyer that says, "Don't forget to support so and so's pizza in the future. They were awesome. This is what they gave us." Like I'm trying to find little ways, like not just here at the end, but even throughout the year to shout out those places who were really cool and
Well,
really
and
generous.
to maintain that relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome.
I mean, it was fun. It
Yeah,
was just really fun, and you make it your own. And yeah, like I said, we brought in $10,000, and
amazing.
well, and the other thing that about it that's really nice is that the money, if you are using it for a fundraiser, it's one of the only fundraisers that we do that doesn't ask the parents for something.
Mhm.
Parents can donate, but when they have like their kids or even the kids, because our kids are older, when they have a website that they can share with others, all of my own person, I mean, I donated to my kids, but like when I shared that link with our cousin Lisa and
Yeah,
Uncle
yeah.
Jerry and like people that we don't talk to that often, they were the ones who did the fundraising. So like it's it's people who are outside of that immediate circle that are always asked for something that get to contribute this time.
Which is nice. And it's different. Like, it's not just, yeah. I don't wanna, like, name all of the things, but sometimes it's just exhausting.
It's exhausting. So the biggest ask for the parents is to share.
Yeah.
It's not, and it's a text message, and then there's prompts. Like I put it even in my resource. I have text message prompts, I have social media prompts, and I have email prompts that you can copy and paste and just send out with the link. My kid's doing this readathon. It would be great if you would, sponsor them. Love you, see you, deuces. Remember, you forgot to send us a Christmas present. Bye.
Yeah. XOXO, Gossip Girl.
But and I think especially with high schoolers too, like if they like asking their at work, they have
Yeah.
adult friends at work, and they have,
Well, they have workplaces where they can advertise things and where they can get donors, and those relationships continue. Yeah.
if it wasn't worth trying, I wouldn't even be here talking about it. But I think it has massive potential.
No, it
And I don't even
does.
think that you need to have like big $1,000 goals. I feel like your goal should be book money to start.
Right, right.
And that's great. Book money and like keeping the conversation around books going in your
Yeah.
classroom
Well, and
because
I'm in my head trying to like spin, okay, so I love this. I'm already going to pass this on to like our PTSA and librarian. How do I look at this from the view of like the theater program? Is
yeah,
there a version of, right? Like how does this translate to other formats? I don't know. We'll have to think about that.
I mean, I don't think you change it. I think it's a readathon for drama.
It's a play readathon.
No, they read whatever they want,
No,
but
I know. I'm
the
joking.
money goes to drama.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea.
The end.
Yeah. Full stop. I love it.
Full stop. Full
It's all
stop.
about stories. This is phenomenal.
It was.
Well, because it's yes, all the birds are with one stone.
Yes. And I mean my biggest hesitation is it's another thing to do. I know
Yeah.
it's a lot, but like I said, the resource that I pulled together is literally everything I did for every single stage, recommendations, links. I'm putting it in happy hour for free. So anyone who's in a happy hour, it's going to be there for you. If you're not in happy hour and you want to purchase it, I will have it available for you. It's not expensive. It's just like every single thing I did for the last 2 months of my life organized, which is the most shocking part.
And it's really good. It's really like the way that you organized it, because you did it, you built it as you went and like refined it as you went when you were in the moment. So it's very usable. Yes.
The majority of what it is, though, is activities for the teachers. I didn't even talk about that because I would never ask anyone else to do it, but because I couldn't help myself. I mean, I made activities like create your own license plate for the teachers. I made a reading road trip map bingo card. I made
That's so cool.
oh my gosh, all the end of the program certificates. I made a travel reading journal for the upper grades kids. It was like a reading journal that was all travel themed. I made, that's that's a big piece of what's in this resource is all of the
stuff.
Read-a-Thon,
But
Read
that's
Across
what keeps it
America.
going. That's what, like, when kids are excited, that's what makes it happen.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
It definitely scratched that itch for a while. And then I was like, oh, I got to get back to my real life again. So.
Womp womp. Well, friends listening, let us know. Like, I've been scribbling down ideas in my little notepad while we're talking, even though I've already known all of this because I talk to Amanda daily. But even like just talking about it all in one place, I'm jotting down tons of ideas for my own school. So what are you coming up with? Let us know. Let us know if you are doing something like this and like how it looks at your school. Tag us on Instagram and we can, share all of this wealth of knowledge. Yeah, but I'm really excited to see where this goes. I love it. And next year, like to see then the update next year of like when you actually got to rinse and repeat, what did that look like?
Hashtag, I'm kind of hoping we combine the book fair and the read-a-thon. So it's like book fair
into read-a-thon. That makes very much sense. Yes.
Ding, ding. When you come to the book fair, we're like, sign up for the read-a-thon.
Hashtag, that was a really long hashtag.
It was a super long hashtag that no one will be able to actually read. But registration was the hardest thing for us because kids, the littles don't remember which shoe to put on which foot, much less reminding mom and dad to sign up for the read-a-thon. So
totally. Okay. Well, I actually like the idea of a summer read-a-thon. So we'll see what we can think about with that.
Yes. I love this.
Yeah.
I love this idea.
See where we go in the fall. All right, my friend. This has given us all quite a bit to think about. Thank you so much for all of your hard work and for sharing all of it so freely. You're the best.
Don't forget to just let us know what you try. We'd love to hear everyone's versions of it. And happy hour teachers, be sure to go grab your stuff.
Absolutely. And friends, summer is coming. It's coming. It's coming. We're all going to make it.
We are deep in prep for Camp BNT.
We are so excited for Camp BNT, for our own little Brave New Teaching Read-a-Thon. It's going to be great.
Yes, there will be books. There will be a list of books coming to you very, very soon.
Very, very soon. We've started sharing them. Actually, I think at the time as this comes out, I think we've already started sharing a little bit here and there of little teasers of all of the really cool. We have 7 different authors for camp. Like, that's so cool. I'm excited. So yeah, stick with us, friends. Make sure that you have got your reading light charged for those late nights reading because there will be many ahead of us. And stay with it. You've got this. We can make it to the end. Until we meet again, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Thanks again for listening to Brave New Teaching.
We'd love to keep the conversation going over on Instagram.
And while you're there, check out the links in our bio for the most up-to-date events going on in Happy Hour and the Brave New Teaching community.
Thanks for being here and have a great week at school.